So, have you ever tried to make some huge, life altering change only to find yourself right back where you started a few weeks later? Yeah, we've all been there. The problem might just be that you're aiming way too high. Today, we're going to dive into the core ideas from Atomic Habits, a book with a pretty radical idea that tiny daily improvements are actually the secret to massive, remarkable results. And the author's journey, well, it started with a story that is almost too incredible to believe. That's how author James Clear kicks off his book. A classmate took a full swing, the bat just slipped, and boom, it hit him square between the eyes. We're talking a broken nose, multiple skull fractures, 2 shattered eye sockets. It was so bad he had to be put into a medically induced coma. I mean, it was this absolutely life-shattering event that set him on a long, painful road to recovery, and as it turns out, to the very discovery that would define his life's work. Now, his recovery wasn't some big, dramatic overnight thing. Not at all. It was the result of him focusing on one incredibly simple idea. Just get 1% better every single day. This became the foundation for his entire philosophy. And honestly, the math behind it is genuinely shocking. Okay, so let's really think about this for a second. 1%. It sounds like nothing, right? It's barely even noticeable. Going to the gym for 1 extra minute or reading just 1 more page of a book. Does that really even matter? What do you think happens when you stack up that tiny little effort day after day for a whole year? Well, the answer is kind of mind-blowing. You end up 37 times better. 37! That is the incredible, almost magical power of compounding. These tiny, seemingly insignificant gains add up to something truly massive. And, the scary part is the reverse is also true. Getting just 1% worse each day for a year brings you almost all the way down to 0. And this whole idea isn't just some nice theory. It actually has a name and a seriously powerful track record. It's called the aggregation of marginal gains. And it was this secret weapon that a guy named Dave Brailsford used to completely turn around the entire British cycling team. Before this guy came along, British cycling was, well, a total joke. In almost 100 years, they'd won a single Olympic gold medal. A British cyclist had never won the Tour de France. It got so bad that one top bike company actually refused to sell them bikes because they were afraid it would hurt their brand if other pros saw the Brits using their gear. But Brailsford changed everything by focusing on only making 1% improvements in every single area you can imagine, from the ergonomics of the bike seats to the kind of pillows the riders slept on. Okay, so if the math is so powerful, why do so many of our new habits fail? Why do we give up? Well, Clear argues it's because we get stuck in what he calls the valley of disappointment. We expect our progress to be this nice, straight line going up. But in reality, the biggest results, they're almost always delayed. You know this feeling. We've all been there. You start running every single day for a month, you look in the mirror, and nothing's really changed. You start studying a new language every night, but you still feel like you can barely string a sentence together. It's so frustrating. And that's the exact moment where most people quit, thinking all their effort was just a waste of time. But here's the thing. It's not. To really get what's going on, just imagine an ice cube sitting in a room that's slowly warming up. At 28 degrees, nothing. 29, still nothing. 30, 31 degrees. It looks like absolutely nothing is happening. Your effort seems to have 0 effect. But all that work, all that energy, it's being stored up. And then finally, at 32 degrees, bam, a breakthrough. The work was never wasted. It was just building up potential that gets unleashed all at once. And this leads us to one of the biggest, most important ideas in the whole book. If you want to make progress that actually sticks, you have to forget about setting goals and focus on building systems instead. It is a completely different way to think about what success even means. Right, so goals are about the result, right? Like winning a championship. The system, on the other hand, is the process that gets you there. How you practice, how you recruit, how you manage your team. See, the problem with goals is they create this finish line mentality. You hit the goal, and suddenly the motivation just vanishes. But a system is all about falling in love with the process itself. It lets you feel satisfied every single day you show up, not just on that one rare occasion you hit some major milestone. So how do we actually build these systems? Well, the book lays out 4 simple laws, but it all starts with the very first one. And this is arguably the most powerful and the most immediately useful step you can take right now. The first law is simply this: make it obvious. You want to make the cues for your good habits totally, completely obvious. And the best way to do this isn't through more willpower, but through something called environment design. The idea is simple. You need to become the architect of your world, not just a person living in it. The whole principle is just to change the layout around you, to make the good habits the easiest possible path. You don't have to remember to practice guitar when it's literally staring you in the face. You're making the cue for that habit impossible to ignore. It's so simple, but it works. And the power of your environment is absolutely staggering. I mean, get this. During the Vietnam War, a study found that almost 20% of American soldiers there were addicted to heroin. But, and this is the crazy part, when they came back home, away from that environment full of all the triggers and cues, 9 out of 10 of them kicked the addiction almost overnight. This is the exact opposite of the typical 90% re-addiction rate for heroin users. It just proves that your context, your environment, can be way, way more powerful than your willpower. So all of this, the 1% rule, the systems, the environment, it all builds up to what I think is the most profound idea in the entire book. Habits are not just about what you get. They are about who you become. This changes everything. The goal isn't just to read a book. It's to become a reader. The goal isn't just to run a marathon. It's to become a runner. See, when your habits become part of your identity, you're not even chasing behavior change anymore. You're just acting in line with the type of person you already believe you are. Think about it. Every single time you sit down and write one page, you are embodying the identity of a writer. Every time you choose to go to the gym, you're embodying the identity of a healthy person. Your habits are literally the proof you offer yourself about who you are. And that's really the ultimate takeaway here. Every tiny decision, every little atomic habit you do each day, it's not just a small, meaningless action. It's a vote. It's a vote for the type of person you want to become. So the only question left is, who are you casting your votes for today?